Good afternoon. This is our very last webinar for year of 2025. Goodbye 2025. And today we want to talk about New Year resolution for 2026. And it's a lighthearted webinar. There's no tax code in here. And what we're talking about is entrepreneur's journey to be effective. Like what do you do, what I did, if you consider Ying is effective, I'll tell you how I do my goals. And then I also will tell you how Community CPA as a whole, we do goals. And then our clients, what kind of goals they have. So we collected some of the goals we want to share with you so you can get a feel of it. So let's get going. 2026, New Year resolution. The number one resolution I give you is to come to Ying's webinar every time I'm online. That's your New Year resolution, okay? You're already here. Why don't you just continue your good habit? So 3 p.m., let me tell you, if you don't do anything at 3 p.m., the 3 p.m. normally is a wasted time. And according to psychology, or maybe physiology, and they're talking about humans' energy level. If you get up at 7, 6 o'clock a.m., by 3 p.m. you're at the lowest point. You're tired, a little bit towards to the end of the day. But if you put on a learning brain or fun brain, which we're not so fun, I try to be. Sometimes my jokes is kind of cracking, but sometimes it's like I'm the only one laughing, like nobody else. So with that said, 3 p.m., if you have a good habit of learning something at 3 p.m., because of the stimulations from outside, you're actually gonna win. I can't tell you how much I learned myself for just doing webinars because I have to prepare, right? So I do learn it because of that. All right, so this is our website. And on our website, you can click to different pages. Today, I'm showing you the contact page, so you can contact us. And you can also, using the function buttons on the top, one of them is on board with us, right? So you can become our clients from there. And you can also make appointment to see us. And here, this is our YouTube channel, no kidding. All of our webinars are here. So if you really want to know what is Ying talking about, at what time, you can find me. You literally, by knowing where I'm recording, where I am doing the webinar, you literally can roadmap out what I did the whole year because webinars, I do not skip. I typically very good at doing it as long as I can have a space. Sometimes I'm traveling, so I will record it or replace it with other partners meeting. Otherwise, if I'm in a hotel, I will be recording. I'll be air that in the hotel room. So that's kind of my commitment, right? These are the 2 books I wrote, and you can find them on Amazon. And this is the disclaimer of no responsibility disclaimer, which really encourage people who are online seeking for answers to make sure those answers are coming from authoritative website, not some hearsays. It doesn't work, right? All right. Importance of goal setting for entrepreneurs and small business owners. This is very deeply rooted. If you're working on your career in an office setting, you have a team working together, it is easier to go about your life without goal setting because every day you would have a structure that you already follow into. But being an entrepreneur, self-employed individual, you have too much freedom to not set a boundary for yourself. Humans are naturally lazy. There is no one who wish to be so crazy busy, so tired. Everyone wish that to work less or have this work-life balance or to work, but work to the degree that you don't throw up, right? So with that said, entrepreneurs has the most freedom to not work at all or work a little bit, or work ordinarily or work a lot. It's all about their choices. Okay? Folks say that, oh, Ying, you work really hard. That was by choice. I could choose not to work at all, but that's not my choice. So what I am saying here is, if you are small business owners, if you are your own boss, you know you are in danger without setting goals. Goal setting is a form of discipline. Help you stay focused and not lose control of your own behavior and your own spirit. Very important. If we don't set goals, okay, a life of entrepreneur will be filled with meaningless events and empty spaces. How often did you find yourself that, I'm sick at home today, I don't go to work, but after a day, you felt like you didn't do anything? Or you were planning to do laundries or whatever small things you could accomplish, but you ended up didn't do anything. Did you find yourself doing that? I find myself that if I am taking a time off and from work to stay home, if I don't plan that day of my home, that day will be a YouTube channel browsing day, whole day, from the couch to the bed, from the bed to the kitchen, back to the couch, back to the bed again. So those are the things very natural. I'm not criticizing anyone who doing that. I'm not blaming myself doing that. I do have days I did that, which I call it, okay, a break time. Don't do that again. So if we don't set goals, we leave empty spaces for time to overtaking our life. Meaningless. You don't have things going on. So making sure that's why we set goals. If we set too big of goals, we as a human will stop setting goals because we automatically avoid defeat. We don't want to feel defeated. Oh, why do I set goals? I'm not going to get it. I'm not going to get there anyway. Right? So you hear your inner voice is saying that to you. So, I'm saying that set goals. Then I'm saying don't set too big goals. If we set goals that out of our control, that's also not goal setting. That's actually prayers. Of course, we want something happen which is completely out of my control, your control. It's like I wish my kid can do something. You think that wish is a goal? No, that is a wish. That is a prayer. Right? So don't confuse your goal with your prayer. So you want to set goals that you understood, it's not too big, and it's also with a result that you can see and feel and touch. Okay? So that is general understanding as an entrepreneur, setting goals that you understood, write them down. So that is how I view goal setting, and I also know how important that is. So that I actually religiously do goals every year. I don't remember which year I didn't do. So those are the years, as long as I can remember, every year on December 31st, midnight, my goal is right there. I print it out and I put it on my planner, if I have planner, and recent years, and then you put in where you open up your computer, you can see it. So that's how I do it. So Community CPA goals over the years, I want to give you the history of our goal as a company. In 1998, the first year of Community CPA's operation, at that time we just have one client. So the goal was to gain 12 more clients and giving 1 month one client, that kind of speed. So we set that goal, and obviously we accomplished that by 100 times because 1,000 times, because right now we're at 12,000 clients range and more. So it's not 12 clients anymore. In 2000, the goal was to move out of the home office and rent a place to operate the company. See? Not lofty goals. And after 2 years operation, we go, oh yeah, we want to be on the street instead of to be in my home office, which my neighbor, doesn't like it. So they They actually, one of the time, one of my neighbor knocked my door, goes, oh, I see a African-American gentleman went inside of your house. I want to make sure you're okay. All right, that's my client. So with that, I want to move out of a place. So this is what happened in 2000. In 2008, 8 years later, the goal was to purchase a building and move out of the rental space. See how logical these steps are, right? But we had the goal written before the year comes, and we accomplished that within the year. And I remember how busy I was looking at buildings, and I feel sick about it because none of them I like, and it just feels like I will never find one. But you guess what? One day the phone rang, the agent called, oh, there is a building just came out on Ingersoll. I saw them putting out the sign. Let's go. So we went. 9 o'clock, the sign was out. 11 o'clock, we bought it. So that is how the goal setting would make it for you, because you are so clear in what you are getting. Since then, the goal was always about increased client bases. So we set goals to set up branches, because that's the way we see to reach out to clients. As much as a lot of appointment conversation can be happening between the internet, but the video conferences, but still, and when we have a physical location in an area or in the state, it just brings so much warmness to people, to clients who are in that state, even though they couldn't really go to Capitola to see us, but they still know that, oh yeah, you are here, so they want to work with you. So that's the kind of connections we're trying to build with our client. So we set goals to expand branches, right? So we currently have our branches in many places like Des Moines, Carville, Minnesota, Bloomington, Houston, and Capitola. And we are actually have already set a new branch in Toronto, Canada. So that's kind of where we are right now. And with that, I want to say that in our new year, 2026 is coming up. I know you're gonna ask me, hey Ying, what is your new year resolution for Community CPA? So number one, again, increase our firm's client base, right? And increase 360 clients and the 30 per month average. That's what we set goals for ourselves. So we may not get there, but our history recommended that we could get there if we have a good communication. So what we did, the second step is that we hired outside marketing company to come in to help us to increase our SEO rating on the website. So hopefully that will bring more new clients to us, right? So those are these two lock steps. That's our goal. And so we did that. And we are continuing to do that. Investing in the IT infrastructure to improve efficiency and the client experience. So based on that core value we have, so we implement new operating system. Our goal is to complete the transition by the end of the 2026. You see, that's how we set the goals. And we support our client needs, including loan application and audit resolution and advisory, all kind of services. And we knew what we have right now at the end of 2025. We are telling our team that we're aiming for 40% increase on engagement. That means what? That means client needed us. Okay? If client don't need us, we don't have that engagement. And in the business consultation and the loan application side of world, the engagement normally are not repeating, right? They're like one-time service. So to really have that 40% more, that means you must have your 100% already, then you have your 40%. So that is a goal that really push forward of, what we, how we want to make sure that, our client needing us so they can come to work with us. Continue to expand on new branches. So, how we really grow our branches by the client needs. We, sometimes our client ask us, oh, how did you decide to go to Houston, Texas? How did you decide to go to California? So those questions, there's one same answer. We go by our clients. So if our clients are more and more in a certain area, that tells us that we need to go there. So the same thing with Canada, right? If our clients are more and more there, then we want to set up branch there. So we go with our client and wherever they are, and so as long as they speak the language we can speak, then that is a place to set up a branch. So our branch setting is one of our goals every year. So this year we have a goal of setting 1 new branch, but in reality we have maybe 2 that in the cooker. So we will see how that goes, right? But if we got 1, we fulfill our desires for 2026. And a more substantial community presence in events, speaking engagement, and outreach. This is our vocal side of things, right? We want to go in the event to present ourselves. We want to talk, maybe join some talk shows and things like that. So we set a goal for ourselves because last year we had nearly 18 of those activities. So we didn't really want to double, which means double a lot of engagement on my side as well. So we did 30. So in my mind, I will still keep my 18, but the other numbers, I will have the partners be starting to be like me, to go out to talk to people, and they grow. Our partners are young partners, and all of them are actually working through the firm and are becoming partner in our firm. So they're young and they're energetic and they have the thirst to learn, so they can be a good candidate for that speaking person and join some speaking engagement. All right, so that's our firm. Okay, so what about our client? Our client has several of these goals, and I put on them. And one of them is putting POS system in the business. Well, in the past, they just have a little notebook and writing down everything. Now they, with the IT, AI, all of these buzzwords running around, and the client came around and asked, is it hard to put in a POS system? Can you guys help me? I'm making that the goal for 2026. So we go in, we set up POS system, they start running on January the 1st, 2026. So even before the year starts, they already got 1 goal under their belt, right? So we also have client expand services to Illinois, and then they come around, goes, I'm in this car dealership business in Illinois. What are the things I need to do? I want to make sure that you help us set up, and we want to get that going. That's our goal for 2026. So we are in the process of getting license and permits, all of these things, lease agreement, all of these things together, so they can operate that auto vehicle brokerage company. So reduce workforce by 10% and increase sales by 10%. Have you heard of that goal? Yeah, reducing salary costs by 10%, but not to lose sales, but increase sales by 10%. So these kind of goals need analysis on your books and record. So what we do is we help clients to understand what kind of costs they have on the payroll and what are the job descriptions of each people. And if you are going to maximize this sector of sales because it makes bigger sales, most of the sales also have bigger profit margin, then we want to beef up. We want to see whether the manpower is enough in this area, and the other areas that less focused, maybe we don't need these people, and we can reduce them or we can move them to another position, right? So those are planned, and this is one of our clients' goal, and we have done that analysis for them so to reach that goal. Set up a nonprofit organization. Some of our clients have done such a good business. They're really making a lot of money. They want to use their money for a nonprofit purpose endeavor, which other nonprofit cannot help them to accomplish. So they will set up a nonprofit. They will start doing good within their nonprofit organization that they can contribute their ideas to, they can guide the direction of. So it would be a perfect New Year resolution for giving more to the community. retire in 2026, transition business to the minor partner. So that is a plan. So we are, one of our clients is already working on that. So the partner one partner leaving and transfer the shares to the two minor partner and unequal share. So all of these need work, right? Need to evaluate the business, know how much to sell, and then need to know when the day effective, and need to figure out how to go forward with the distribution. So that is our goal of our clients. So we help them to accomplish that. And for Immigrant Entrepreneur Summit, that is a nonprofit organization. You know what goal that nonprofit organization has? Is to have Elon Musk to fund the nonprofit organization. That's a goal. That is a goal. We're gonna help the nonprofit to put that on the internet everywhere. So our goal is Elon Musk to fund Immigrant Entrepreneur Summit, because Immigrant Entrepreneur Summit is an organization, nonprofit, helps immigrants to learn how to do business in U.S., to be successful in U.S. Isn't that what Elon Musk did for himself? Although he did not come to the IES, we just don't know where to invite him. Otherwise, he would be in IES every year. So with that said, and that's a goal, 2026. I don't think it's a lofty goal. I think if Elon Musk knows about what we are doing, what this IES doing, yeah, he won't even look at how many zeros he writes. He's just gonna continue writing zeros until all of his money come into IES. I'm just kidding. All right, that's a dry joke, right? I know you didn't laugh, but I laughed. Anyway, so open up a auction house after complete the restaurant sale. That's a goal for somebody. So they sold their restaurant, but while they're selling their restaurant, they realize that it's really the business of auction house is really making good money. So the business owner is changing the career from restaurant chef to a auction house organizer. So, those are our clients' New Year resolution. And what about, in Catherine's advertising or the blurbs of, today's webinar, she talked about, I will talk about my personal goal setting. Yeah, I can talk about that. I set many goals, but the honest truth is that, I achieve a few. I set many goals because I have this habit, right? At the end of the year, I set goals. But I can't tell you how many times when I look at the end of the year, I look at my goals, I'm like, didn't get there, didn't do it. So I probably say in 2-3 years, then one of these years I'll go, finally got here. So that is kind of what I do. So I set and I put them down on a piece of paper in the beginning of the year. And I believe, even though I felt like the goal is a little lofty for me, but I am not the kind of person that would stop setting it. And I know at a minimum, it will help me to do it for 1 month, some of those goals. So, for example, I set, for the last 10 years, or maybe even more than 10 years, every year, I set a goal to walk daily. Okay, I love to walk. And in here where I live in Des Moines, we have this, I forgot the trail's name, but we have these walkways like in the woods. So beautiful. I would walk there every day if I really keep my own promise, right? But in reality, I fail that regularly. So last year, I set 9 goals, and 2 failed. One is this walking thing. I didn't do again last year. I really should. The other one, now I think I made a mistake because it was not a goal. The other one is a prayer. The other one is a wish. So it's something related to my kids. So I made a wish, but I wrote that into my goal. Of course I didn't accomplish it because there's no way, as a mother, you can decide on what, the kids are doing. So I only just I should just put that on my prayer list rather than the goal list. So I failed that too. But the other 7, I got all of them. And they are personal, business, in all area of my life. So I was pretty proud of myself for 2025. So I set goals. One of the goals I set, which I am pretty proud of, for a while, my mom lives in Toronto, so Toronto is really not too hard to get to from here. You fly and you get there, right? But it is so often, a year passed by, I didn't go to see her. So there were years, I really skipped on years. I'm not talking about a couple months, couple years. So recent 5 years, I've been setting goals to at least show up in Toronto to see mom for 2 times. So I have been able to do that. I have done that. So those are my personal goals that I set throughout the journey of my life. So which I know that you have the same thing. I know we also have similar things that we set goals, we don't do it. But I still say you set it because you probably at least do it for the first few times. Even just for first few times you did it, right? Imagine if you don't even have the goal, you won't even do the first few times. So with that said, I encourage you to put the goal on the paper to secretly shame yourself, then you will do it next year or next time. All right, so my last piece of advice is strategies for achieving goals. You set the goals, but how do you really make it come to you, make you be ashamed or be reminded you have to do it? So that is to set it and leave it at a place you can see all the time. A lot of times we wrote a goal, we fold it in our nice diary book, and then you never look at it again. So don't do that. You need that to be visible. I don't know, put it on your cell phone as a screensaver, something, right? So that is something you want to make sure that you set the goal and it needs to be visible to you very often, more often than not, right? Don't compare to others, just focus on your own goal. So maybe you set up to walk 1,000 steps a day. Then your friend come around and told you that, oh yeah, last year I did 3,000 a day, so this year I'm going to set 5,000 a day. Then you think to yourself, then you look at your friend, goes, oh, I should be 5,000. Don't even do that. Just know that it is a goal for yourself and that you focus on what you have. And be stubborn, right? Stubborn head. Just don't change your mind. Work on it daily and celebrate small wins. So important. When I say celebrate small wins, I don't mean that you walked today and then you're going to drink a glass of wine, celebrate. No, that would be counter-effective, right? You drink alcohol, okay, moderate, okay? You can't drink too much and be healthy. So what I mean is if you set a goal saying that, you go to Toronto to see your mom 2 times a year. And the second time you got done, and in one of the dinner time, when you cheers, and cheer for I completed one of my goals. Make that a point to celebrate. Make it special in the very small ways, right? Place pressure on yourself, and that pressure needs to be evenly, consistently. That's why I want your goal to be in front of you, because that could give you that effect, consistent effect. And evenly, as soon as you read that goal, you were like, I didn't do it for the last 2 weeks. That is already pressure. That is already pressure for yourself. So let yourself receive those pressure, right? Find new ways to get to your goals. When I said that to one of my friends, finding new ways to accomplish your goals, you need to walk for 10,000 steps. So my friend goes, oh yeah, then I can just put my phone on the rockers because when it rocks, the phone records the steps. So I'm going to get 10,000 steps just by, open up the walkers. Don't find those kind of ways to get your goals faster, right? Don't do that. But finding proper ways. For example, if I set a goal for our accountant to finish 40 bank reconciliations in a month, so the accountant is like, wow, that is overwhelming, cannot do. Then what we do is we finding alternative solutions, right? Maybe there is a AI technology that we can adopt to make the processes easier. And maybe we can tell our client that, hey, we got to have your bank login so we can download your transaction. Otherwise, it would take too much of our time. It is my goal that to finish so much work in a month, and you become my drag. Would you please do it for me and do it so I can do it faster, right? Finding ways to get it done faster. If you feel lonely, find someone to do it with you. That is really important. And I will tell you that the reason I didn't do the walk, I always fail, is because I am lonely. I have nobody else to walk with. You know, I talked to Dr. Howe. I said no. And, you go to your kid, they have so many other things to do. They don't really care about walking with the old lady. So it's hard to really find that companion. So this is where I always, it's a shortcoming of my lifestyle, right? Because I am all over the place, always traveling. So it's hard to establish a local old lady just like me. So we can just walk, we can, discipline each other. So I don't have that choice. So what I am thinking is maybe what I need is a big, huge dog. So if I don't walk the dog, he's gonna bite me. So that way I have to walk, right? So, you're finding ways to make sure that you don't feel lonely. You don't stop doing it because you were lonely. So make sure you find a companion. Share your goal with folks, especially to the one you want to impress. I say that is because if you have a goal, even with this webinar, right? I try to impress you with ideas I have. So I am telling you my goal. And you really think I want to tell you my goal? What if I fail? I feel so, my face. And I'm worried. I'm worried about I won't meet it, right? So, but if you shared it, if you force yourself, shared it to the people you want to impress, what's going to happen to you? You will try really hard to get there. And that is psychology behind our own planning. Sometimes we live in the psychology that we don't manipulate. It's the universe manipulates, or God there manipulates. I don't know how to explain, but certain things you do will certainly help you. So that is science. It is whatever science. It could be psychology, and it could be just, just cosmoscience, right? And do it formally at tomorrow midnight. And then make it official to yourself and your world. Do it formally. That is a ask for you. That is a strategy for you to achieve your goals. Because if you do it formally, you care about it, and you're really going to watch it. Hey, whoever listened to my webinar today, and if you did what I said, and by the end of 2026, you suddenly realize you had more discipline, more accomplished in 2026 because you did goals in the beginning and you were reviewing it every day, every month, and you got to the end of the year, you got everything done. Or maybe 1 or 2 failed, it doesn't matter. I had 9, I failed 2. Okay, don't mix your prayers with your goals. That's important. And then with that, I want you to tell me. I want you to tell me you got there, you did it, because that is so amazing. That would be the best award. The best thing happens to a business owner like myself to know what we do, make meaningful changes to the people who received our input. All right, my last slide is to tell you that on website, if you go to communitycpa.com website, you will see this, you will see an appointment button. When you click the appointment button, that's what you see. You can make appointment with partners. So you can see this is all of us. And making sure
and you let us know. You let us know if you need more, you have more questions, and you need tax planning, you need tax filing services, you need accounting and business consultation service, estate planning, all of these fancy buzzwords. If any of these ring into your ear, and you can look into Community CPA to help you. All right, this is our last webinar for the year, so I don't want you to go. I'm just kidding. I let you go so you can celebrate New Year. And we do have this New Year countdown on the internet. I believe it will reach you to your inbox. And I saw it coming from Community CPA, but the picture you have to download. Please download the picture because we made it just for you. We want you to see our countdown. It is in all social media platforms. If you cannot find our countdowns, and go to Facebook, LinkedIn, whatever, X, you type in Community CPA, you'll find us. Then you can see our countdown. It tells you what we do and what we do for our client, and tells you that bless everyone who are looking at our countdown to have a prosperous 2026 and a successful business endeavor. I'll talk to you again. See you.